cool. Here we go. Father God. Cousin Linda, you funny. Cousin Linda is funny. Father God, what's up, cuz? Because I was on YouTube trying to get YouTube together and Instagram. I'm cracking up. She's funny. Oh gosh. All right. So hello everyone. Good evening, first of all. I'm Dr. Chappelle Washington Freer, and today is December 22nd. And our topic is I know Linda, she ain't that right. Anyway, our topic for tonight is single parent holiday blues, right? I'm just gonna give you some coping mechanisms so that you can work through those emotions and move forward at the end of the day and to still enjoy the holiday in spite of. So Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and whatever you celebrate, happy holidays. It's like that wasn't a part of it. Anyway, I'm just gonna wait to see if a few others join us. If not, I'm going to get started. I'm actually on YouTube too. It's always so funny being on YouTube. So nobody's on Instagram really at all, which is not normal, but it's okay. So let's see. So we had 3 viewers here. Isla's always napping every time I do this. And now she wants to wake up. Hey, sis. All right, so I'm just going to give them a few more minutes. Hi, Ida. All right. I'm just waiting to get started. Hopefully people join us because it's so funny when I talk about this stuff on social media. You know, some people get very tired of constantly hearing like, oh, she's always talking about this stuff. But the reality of it is every time I share my story, somebody writes me or messages me privately and they're like, oh my goodness, thank you for saying this. So I don't care if I'm burning anyone out with constantly reiterating the need for awareness to just single motherhood and everything that comes with it. Because we normalize it and there's nothing normal about it at the end of the day. So I'm here to talk about it over and over and over and over again. If it's going to free one person. And ultimately, that's what happens every time I post. So God put this on my spirit to have this conversation today, and I'm going to have it. All right. And she's in the back getting up. She's waking up. Mamas, I'm on the social media with the people. That's what she said on the side. Oh, you talking to the people? She don't really know the term of Instagram and all that. I don't want her referring to things and having it in her head. She does know what TikTok is only because of other kids. Really, my kid, but that's a story. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm Dr. Chappelle Washington Freer, and today's topic is single parent holiday blues. And parent or not, you're right, Cousin Linda. Let me be more broad. I also want to say hi, my prayer warrior. I also want to say that like earlier with my post, I was a little like had my implicit bias just a little bit. Keisha, it's so funny. You and your mom joined at the same time, but on 2 different platforms. But anyway, that's my people. That's so funny. But yeah, so I forget what I was just about to say. But anyway, I'm going to get started. And all right, so the first thing I had to say is that remember who you are, right? So oftentimes when you're a single parent and like you're doing this alone, you kind of just get so wrapped up in caring for the kid, right? And And now I remember what I was about to say. So earlier I had like a little implicit bias. I got excited when I saw my people join, so I got all messed up. I'm human. I don't really care. So I'm gonna go back to my thought because it just came back. So like when I made that post earlier, I'm like, dang, sometimes I can have implicit bias at the end of the day. And I said, like, single parenthood to me is when you really completely out of contact with the other parent and all this stuff. But also, like, if your loved one or if your parent, the other parent died, right, or passed. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. That was a little harsh. Anyway, if they passed on, right, and that kind of you were forced to be a single parent that way, I would say widow, but some people aren't married. But if you were forced into single parenthood that way, then that also makes you a single parent. But oftentimes, I don't know, co-parenting, even though you're single, like if you have that co-parenting relationship, and it's healthy and effective, then to me, it's just a little different, right? And so I'm having this conversation for like single fathers and single mothers who are the primary caregivers, right? Like you don't really like you have to alter your schedule all the time. You have to constantly go out your way to make sure that you and your little one is good. That this is who this is for. And also for those who may just have holiday blues because they're grieving a loved one or they're lonely, because oftentimes this parenthood journey can be like just a little bit lonely, right? Just a little bit sometimes. So I'm here to remind you that you're resilient, the kids are resilient, and you need to remember who you are. What do you like? What do you like to do? A lot of times we kind of get so wrapped up in caring for the kid that you don't do anything for yourself anymore. So you still have to remember what you like to do, what you like to wear, what you like to eat. Take yourself on dates. And if it's the holiday and funds are a little tight, like don't be too good for resources. That's one thing I'm not ashamed of. Doctorate degree, whatever is going on. If I need some help, I will look up like, and I think oftentimes we are resistant to support because of the label that society creates, the picture that they create, and it makes us shameful. Listen, I don't care. I will go in and get food for myself and let them know what I have and what I've done. Like I'm just in a season, it's a transition. And so you just can't be, hi KK, you can't be ashamed to ask for help, whether it's from like directly from people or resources, right? Community agencies, churches, mosques, whatever, government support, like if that's the season you're in your life and you need that help, it's for you. And it's really no one's business. It's your business. So don't like suffer in silence, I guess ultimately is what I'm trying to say. Don't suffer in silence. And also, Google free like events, like outings for you to do with your child, with yourself, just to like, enjoy the season. You don't have to sit in the house. Like I know I made a whole day out of decorating the tree, right? With Isla. Now I'm waiting, like plan stuff. When you plan things, you don't really have the idle time to start getting in your mind and thinking like, it's the holiday. Why? Now I'm not gonna lie, I had my moment. I like literally like 3.5 weeks ago, I just got heavy. Money was like getting a little tight because I just transitioned to I just moved to Atlanta, and like I just packed up and left, left my job. I did the entrepreneur thing all summer, like solely entrepreneur thing. Normally I work and I'm like an entrepreneur on the side, right? Because I'm just not there yet to be a full-time entrepreneur. I'm just not. But when I left my job, I don't know, I've just been on this spiritual journey, which has really helped me too with like overcoming some of the feelings you get when you are just the sole provider for your child. It gets very overwhelming. And I want to let you know that it's not your fault at all. Because you start feeling guilt and shame. Yes, Isla, I'm on, with the people. Okay? I'm on social media. Can you not interrupt me? Am I too loud? All right, can you give me a few minutes, Isla, please? See, these are the things, but you still have to press forward. And that's what I learned. But it's okay to cry. You can look up free and local events, tap on your loved ones, talk to people, tell people how you feeling. Like, it's okay to, I know, do you hear her, Nicole? I'm coming to get my baby. Come get her, please. Tomorrow we're going to a tour drive, but I'll talk to you there. Well, it's a futures event, rather, should I say. Anyway, but yeah, like, tap into you. What do you love to do? Love yourself. Look up some things to do with you, the baby. Write some goals down. Stay occupied. And it's okay to cry, and also reach out to your loved ones. Like, sometimes you just suffer in silence and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone. And they may not be your family, and that's okay. Like, you have to be comfortable with creating a different picture of a family, and your family is what you have and what loves you wholeheartedly, in my opinion, right? And so if that's you and your child, then it's you and your child, and that's fine. If it's you and people that you're not even really like related to technically, be open to receive. Bottom line, be open to receive the love, and that's something that I kind of had to get used to, because I'm like, I'm okay, I got this all together, but Isla really helped me with realizing that I'm not always okay, and it's okay to express myself. And sometimes I'll go on a rant and I'm like, oh, that's not a good idea. But you can still, just reach out, please. So now I'm very big on goals, right? Now, this is why I said goals. And this is more than typically just getting over the holiday blues. This is really just getting over single parent blues. Because I think that's the thing. Like, I feel like I have a meltdown at least like once every 3 months. I just get so like, like I'm just like I'm ready to explode. And I had one recently, like I said. So when I have goals, right, and I have goals for myself, I have goals for Isla and then I have goals for Isla. Of course, at this age, I can't really force anything on her, so it's kind of like, I don't know, very lenient goals. I introduce her to things, whatever. But I also have released a lot of expectations, which eases pressure on me, for her, right? The only expectations you should really have should be of yourself. And that makes you feel better too, because oftentimes you may get to this point where you are thinking about the other parent, like, that's not fair, and you get like angry. You're grieving, right? When you are upset, or really you have some sort of anger about something, at the end of the day, you're grieving. So you're going to go through those 5 stages where you will have those angry moments, and those can cycle over and over and over again, right? That's what people don't realize. Just because you get through the 5 stages don't mean you might not be back at step 1 again. And I'm like blanking on 5 because I would just say it out loud, but I'll look at it really quickly. But yeah, so just give yourself that moment and say, okay, thinking about it, but don't like just drown in it. Okay. You have to, like, at the end of the day, they're living their life. It may not be fair, but you have to pray. So I have a spiritual life. Pray, journal, meditate. I don't know, whatever you believe in. Okay. I believe in Jesus. I wouldn't just throw them on you, but I can't be doing all that because people won't listen to me. They won't be open to listen. So I pray. Like, I pray. I have started fasting. I have started getting so spiritual about this, and everything that I attempt to do that is very, she's like, everything that I attempt to do that kind of drains me in a way. Okay, Isla, what's going on? You want a snack? Really? All right, baby, you gotta wait right now before she wants a snack in the middle of live. She distracts me, and I go, phew. Look, mommy's in the middle of live right now. So I know I'm doing a lot of talking. Anyone have, oh, let's go, pal. Hey, Qua. Aunt Nikki says she's coming to get you. Yes, prayer changes things. Yes, thanks, Keys, for getting me back on track. So I have to pray and fast. I have to sometimes consecrate. Now, when I say consecrate, like sometimes, and I go through my little phases where I have to completely separate myself from people and things and places, things that like distract me a little bit. And sometimes that can be people you love very dearly or whatever, but like sometimes I got to get my mind all the way together so I can say, okay, all right, like let's focus on what God has for you so that you can just move forward. Like sometimes, I don't know, I get so consumed in the world that it does make me start thinking about all of these different things and what I don't have and what I wish I had. And, so sometimes I delete the whole apps from my phone. I know it doesn't seem like you, like you're always on here. I'm really on here to inspire, but I have gotten super spiritual about my journey with God, with Jesus specifically, because that has kept me together through all of my blue moments. Yes, my boundaries are big. I have created boundaries. Like I have so many boundaries. I put the B in boundaries. Like, but seriously, even for my mom, I know her little friends is always talking to tell her, but like for my family, for everybody, especially my family. Woo! But I have like a lot of boundaries. I'm like rubbing her back right now. A whole lot of boundaries just so that I'm like, I want to get what I want out of life. At the end of the day, we all deserve the best. You deserve it too. I'm not greater than anyone, like you deserve it, but you're just going to have those days. So I just wanted to come on here today and like spread some love and say, if you're feeling like down and out, that there is a brighter day. Listen, there were Christmases, honestly, I was rewrapping gifts and no one knew. I rewrapped gifts, but she was so little, so it really wasn't a priority. And this summer, I said this summer, this year, I was like, hustling and bustling to pay my bills, but we are in our own space, right? And like I said, I moved to a completely new city, just packed up and left with no help, but myself. Only myself. Thank you. That means so much coming from you, my prayer warrior. So like I had to really focus on priorities right now, but I do feel much better where we're at. This is somewhere I always wanted to be. I'm doing what I had to do. So Christmas wasn't the priority for me this year. And, I had friends and like sisters really help me out, and people like, they're buying my daughter stuff, and like like I really appreciate that, but I'm not ashamed in going to a toy drive right now. That's what I have to do. Like, but God gives me my strength to move forward in the day to day, right? So yes, I have a peace of mind where I'm at. And yes, this season, I couldn't buy her 1,001 gifts for Christmas, but guess what? We have our own place. I have a peace of mind. I have a relationship with God. I never had a relationship like I have with God now. Never, ever. And it's only going to get stronger. He has me doing things that I never imagined I could do. Literally, I'm here. I hear him now. It's so amazing to me. I pray like crazy now. My prayers, I'm like, dang, girl. Just the way I pray is so fluid. It's so, but I've only gotten to that point from like literally like being down to my last and feeling so weak and so down and so out and just outraged, right? High all the time, all sorts of things. Like, I was just smoking weed back to back to back because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't cope with my reality. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Why am I really here by myself with this baby doing all of this stuff, working? I'm trying to have goals. I have this. You just get like your mind is about to bust. Like, and sometimes you will get to that point and it's okay to just release it, cry, write some goals down, figure out what resources you might need, because that's another thing, and the only reason I'm so big on goal setting, there's a lot of data out there and sources that really identify goal setting to be like a huge and major like just factor in success, right? Whether it's student success, I believe any success, okay? I don't want to get all Dr. Chabelle on y'all. But there's so many theories out there, and goal setting is an amazing one. It really allows you to mentally move forward. If you create a vision, that's why I have vision boards. Like, you can even do a vision board in this holiday season. Do activities that are at low cost if you're tight for money. Okay, so it can just help you get past the moment. Sometimes you just really get stuck in that moment and caught up in like those feelings in that moment. And so like, I'm just super big on goal setting, but oftentimes we write goals and we're like, how are we going to get them done? How are we going to obtain them? And sometimes you need to look up resources yet again. Like if you want to take a certification, you want to take a course for a certification, but you really need assistance with studying, right? Look up courses that you could possibly take that will prepare you for the coursework, or on the test, right? Or whatever it may be. But you just got to be proactive in feeling what you feel, and then moving past it, knowing that it's going to get better, especially if you're doing things to help yourself. Like, so does anyone, what you say, Tay? You are so blessed in so many ways. Yes, I love you so much, sis. Yes, that's right, Aunt Denise. I'm trying to talk back now. I'm crazy, y'all. I just had to get on here. I wasn't as organized as I was with my suicide prevention discussion, because that was needed to be super organized. But with this, I'm just like, I'll just go in there and be Pelly. Because I just had to keep it real at the end of the day, because people don't be real on these platforms, and people are suffering behind the screen, suffering in silence, suffering behind the monitor, suffering behind thoughts and hopes and addictions, all sorts of things, and all because they are a single parent. Like, sometimes single parenthood will drive you to all of these things. I don't know if y'all have ever seen Made. Listen, that show, that series on Netflix, my life was like that at once. And it still kind of is, right? Especially when I go to my client's house and I'm cleaning. Like, I have a few clients that I clean their house. Big houses. I do what I gotta do. I was in all these activities, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm like, man, watch it. I highly recommend. It is like just a little like insight. It's a lot of insight, not a little. It's a lot of insight. Things happen back to back to back. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know what hit you. You're like, I can't catch a brain. Where? It's a baby. She's whining. Hungry again. She just came back from my mom's house and was eating all day. I'm like, Isla, how much hunger in the world? So, anyone have anything else to say? We have it together, but we suffer when we get in a place of comfort. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when you do get in comfort, that's when you have idle time and your mind starts. And that's why I like to say proactive. Get a snack, sis. You horrible, Tay. You worse than mom. Oh, whatever, Keisha. Thank you for the word. Yes, King. Is that a? Let me see. I'm sorry. Yes, Queen. You're welcome. Just continue to stay encouraged. We can get through this. Write some plans down. I'm telling you, it will happen. What's the name of what, Cousin Linda? I was talking to someone on Instagram. I just wanted to come and let you know you are not alone. You okay? Okay. All right, let me get her a snack because she's gonna drive me crazy. Where is it at? What do you want? What would you like? A granola bar. You always want a granola bar. Turn into a granola bar. Goodness, what you sleep? I shouldn't let you sleep anyway. All right, really? Sorry about that. Movie. Oh, it's a series, and it saw. I said this. I'm tired. I've been working all week cleaning all of these houses and all of this stuff. I had some interviews too with colleges, but anyway, the Netflix series is called Made. MAID, like Made. Yes, on Netflix. So I try to do lives just like at least I don't know. This is just, I don't know. When God puts it on my spirit, I'm like, okay, I'll do a live because I don't know. I was always like, ooh. People get so tired of hearing me talk the same stuff over and over again, but I just know it's beneficial and people are suffering in silence. So I'm willing to talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is all of the stuff I discuss. I'm the queen of the elephant in the room. Which is funny. Some people can't stand that, but we need to talk about this thing because I can't get comfortable. So it depends, Quad. Sometimes I just do random lives. Okay, I'll try to remember, girl. To text you. You know how that go. I just wanted to do a quick 30-minute live. That's it. If you I know I don't know if you have anything to say. Anyone want anything to say? Any questions? We can get through the holiday. And to those of you who are grieving a loved one or may feel hey, Mr. Dwayne, or may feel like I don't know, a little abandoned in any way, just know that God is with you, whether you really believe or not. Like he's always there. So he's always there. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever get tired. Tay, I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff. I don't care if I get 1 like, 0 likes. If God tells me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I learned that, and honestly, He blesses me. I pray in private and do all this stuff, and then sometimes He got me looking like a fool in public. I don't care because He just be blessing me, and I can't make this stuff up. The way He continues to come through for me over and over again when it's super unexpected. As long as I okay, some self-care tips or strategies I use when I'm frustrated. So self-care, I I like to I like to be alone. That's a part of my self care sometimes. Like, I would say travel, but right now, realistically, money is like tight, so I can't travel the way I like prefer to, which is used to be a part of my self care. I'm still adjusting right now, but journaling, writing my goals down, like I'm super goal oriented, and people always like everything you say you're gonna do, you do. That's why. That's what I do. Like if somebody does something to me or they make me feel like, some type of way, I may be down for a second, but baby, I get like, and I put all of that into my goals. Like that's really like how that's like, I don't know. Those are some of the things I do even when I'm frustrated as a parent. And also I'm open to taking a break and letting Isla go with her grandma, like my mom. And um reading too. So where's this book at? I thought the book was right. So now I was telling everyone earlier, like, I'm really spiritually like aligned right now in my life. And I think it's going to continue to get even greater with Jesus. So I do a lot of YouTube. But not too much to the point where I'm getting lost in all these other people's thoughts and words and stuff like that. Like I'm not persuaded to the point where like I'm unrealistic about and not really hearing directly from God from all these people. But so I'll do the Bible now. Like that's my biggest self-care thing right now is the word of God. I'm in Bible study every day. I'm in prayer groups. I'm in prayer groups with older women, like seasoned older, like popping, get that gum out your mouth in church women. And I've been learning from them. Like so my daughter, I'm looking at her head. I'm sorry. I'm like, this girl head is batted up. We got to pull this thing out. Anyway, so like, yeah, self-care for me, I'm super into Jesus right now. Like that just has freed me more than anything, any baths, any, music, because I love music too. I like to dance around. And cleaning and hustling too. I don't know, like those are just my self-care things. Like right now I'm like just in hustle mode, but that has been like freeing my mind a lot. I'm just because I have a goal that I'm trying to meet within the next year for Isla and I. Like I'm not in school anymore finally. That was my self-care at one point. being in school, even when I got frustrated, why I was able to like really go get into my doctoral program. Like that's why my research is around the first year success of Black male commuter students. I wanted to dig into the Black male. I was hurt at that time, and I was like going through that healing process where I was trying to discover, like, I wanted to learn the Black man to the core, but I had to associate it with my line of study, right? My area, my profession, which was student success. So I'm like, I want to look into the Black male, and I had to dig deep all the way into the history of just slavery and the Black male as it integrated into America, and I had to really pull back. So while I did that, I was able to heal in the process. So, at different stages of my life, I have had different strategies when I got frustrated as a parent, and this is all as a parent, yeah, with Isla, because all of those things exist around me. Like oftentimes we get so wrapped up in the kid that we have them in all these things and we doing all this stuff that you lose yourself, right? And then you don't really you're like the kid isn't even enjoying certain things because you're always on go. Like I know at one point, like we was in work, school, activities, then we get in the house and I'm like, girl, like I didn't really want to be bothered with her. But when I started prioritizing and having like a schedule for certain times of the day, sometimes you want to just have a free life, right? Freelance. Shouldn't have everything super structured. But for majority of each day, things were structured so that I could get my time in with her. It was just a healthy balance of activities, of rest, of self-engagement, of engagement with your child. Like you gotta have balance so that you can handle this. Period. Like at the end of the day, that's another ultimate reality. You have to have balance and you have to be realistic with yourself and spend time alone. That's all part of self-care. And you won't get that to the point where you are frustrated as a parent. Maybe because we're not perfect, but for the most part. Any other questions or thoughts, comments, concerns? Isla is just a trip. I'm like, Isla, really? So I've been going on and on here. I hope that people are like, okay, this was good. This wasn't good. But yeah, give me some feedback. I am going to wrap it up. I'm so tired, but I still had to get on here and do this because it's very important. I just wanted people to feel loved in this moment, in this time, in this isolation. If you are isolated, I need to stop saying that's something I need to work on when it's for my presentations. But I know I'm so analytical. So what are you guys doing for the holiday? You kings and queens. Now that I've been just going and talking this entire time. I'm doing great because oh, thanks, Butter. You used to babysit me, girl. My big cuz. I'm tired. Oh, definitely not traveling. Wait. Chilling, relaxing. Oh, definitely not travel. Okay, yeah. I forgot what I asked. I'm so tired. Chilling, relaxing. Okay. Definitely not traveling. I know. What is going on in Pennsylvania? It's crazy. Oh my goodness, the COVID cases are crazy in Philly. At least I got to ride real Kyle Grimes. Who is that? I gotta look. Sometimes I don't know who's on here. I was right. Be careful, sis. Hold up. We gotta make it to the holiday. Be careful driving. Uh-oh. My Instagram got messed up. Okay, there it goes. Oh, whoa. So we can do this. We are amazing. We are brilliant. The future is bright. God loves us. Our children love us. Our children are resilient. And we can do all things through you know. Hey, mama. Two kings. I love that. Two kings, mama. Hey, mama. I love just, talking to you all. Okay, so we have someone, she said that, so I'm on 3 platforms. I've been trying to mix this thing up. We got to give hope in every way. So we have my sis, she said, I wanted to say I definitely struggle with balance and consistency with my goals. So Tay, you got to start writing them down, but don't just write them down. Create action steps that can help you obtain the goal. That's the key. And that's what I mean by looking resources up and like actually being proactive and figuring out how do I get this done. That way, even when you do get a little inconsistent or you're having like a little down moment or a bad day or week or month or whatever it may be, because we're human and life happens, you can tap back into where you already know what you have to do to get the goal done at the end of the day. So it's not like you're starting from scratch because you already have a plan. You may have left off maybe at step 2. So now you can just do 3, 4, 5, right? But you just got to be mindful that you can get it done. And it's okay to struggle with the balance, because oftentimes as single parents, it is hard to balance. It's hard to balance. Bottom line, I get it, like we really care about our kids and you want to give them the best. Like I know sometimes I get in my bag like not nobody else's kids, but I just be in my head like my baby gotta have the best of this, the best of that, like in terms of me, like the best, like we gotta have all these experiences and all this stuff. And sometimes that gets me overwhelmed, just the expectations of myself. I'm like, girl, hold up. Wait a minute, you a boss and you raising your kids to be a boss. So, like sometimes like it's okay to have your moment and be inconsistent and not balance it. But it's acknowledging that helps us really like, okay, wait, all right, how do we prevent this from happening again and move forward? And therapy helps too, yo. I don't know if you ever did therapy, sis. I know you probably like, whatever, sis. Would you do therapy, Tay? I don't have COVID. I'm cracking up. Excuse me. But therapy helps too. Like just getting past like, rethinking stuff over and over again. Cause you just get so guilty when you looking at your kids. Sometimes I know me. Sometimes I just feel like, oh my gosh, what happened? I can't do this. Yeah, that's what really helped me too, therapy. And sometimes I have to tap back into those skills, and sometimes I gotta revisit my counselor. Hey, Minister Sheila. So this therapy that I was in recently, like a year and a half ago. Well, really, no, I guess right before I graduated, I had started going back after the loss of my cousin, and now I tie my spiritual life into it because that really, 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 really helps. Yeah, do you Tay? Yeah, because you gonna replay scenes and then you start thinking, well, maybe I could have did this better so that I wouldn't be a single parent, or maybe I wouldn't be a single mom if if I did this in this argument or was quiet, or like, listen, no, at the end of the day, what's meant for your life is meant for your life. If you have some unhealthy habits, okay, acknowledge them and attempt to move forward. Someone who really loves you, long as they're not super extreme where you're like really harming someone, they're going to rock with you until you get through until you get to that place where you can take accountability and say, I had some things that aren't right about me. I've been having expectations of you, of myself, this relationship, and us as parents. And, I realize that's not right. Only a real woman or man is going to really stick with you to get to that point. And so if you were with someone who didn't rock out with you until you got to your realization of, dang, maybe I did do a little bit things wrong. They weren't the person for you, period, bottom line. And so it's okay to have done mistakes that you like, it's okay to have done mistakes, and then you reflect on them, like from when you were in a relationship. Like, it's okay, but like at the end of the day, listen, you are at where you are at for a reason, and your only responsibility right now is to love yourself and love that child. If you think about your mom or your dad, listen, when y'all get in little arguments, or when you were in learning curves and you were disrespecting them and all that stuff, they didn't stop loving you. And I really feel like that's the same thing with the soulmate. Like, yeah, I was abused, but there were certain behaviors I had that may have provoked them because I was nitpicking. But I would get cheated on and be like, yeah, I want to know what's going on. Can we talk about things? And he wasn't at that level to be able to like really like break that down and had that conversation with me. And me being younger, I kept nitpicking. But the me now would have not kept nitpicking. I would have been praying to God. We would have been going to church. But look, he wasn't even Christian. He was, so there were just things that, and so I can replay scenario. I'm just saying all of this to say, I don't know where it's coming from. It must be God led, but I'm just saying all this to say that even though there were things I could have done better, I still realize that I am a single mom right now for a divine reason, and I have accepted that. I have accepted that, okay? I have accepted that, and I love me and I love my child. And even though I have become a better woman, I've become a better woman for a new man, period. You live and you learn, and it ain't gonna always be with the person you started with. And that's just how life goes. Okay? The man that abused me is someone's husband right now. I don't know if he's abusing her. That's not my business. My business is to take care of my daughter, and my past is no longer my business. This is my future. So you have to continue to move forward. Don't worry about, because I know sometimes too, you can look at the person that you were once with, if you were with this person and that's what made you become a single parent. Sometimes you can look at, what you're doing with the other person and think it's a reflection of you. No, people can change. People can change, right? But that's still, you can change too, and you can choose you. You can choose to move forward, and that's okay. Like, and you have to really onward and upward, baby. You gotta really you have to really, yes, a lot of women, my cousin said, a lot of women don't understand the real definition of trauma, and sometimes not knowing that you are going into being a single parent, because who wants to do that? It's traumatic. So therapy is definitely, it need a good choice. Yeah. And so if it just happens out of nowhere, like if you didn't see the single parenthood coming and you have like a little baby or a 1-year-old or even a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, a toddler, whatever, because that stuff can linger. It hurts. I know, I get it. Literally, I'm no longer in pain about my relationship. Now I'm still overcoming, like, damn, my daughter, and I don't want to say a lot because she's right here. So I just think that take it easy on yourself. Forgive you. And that's the hardest thing. I was in prayer with my mentors and I was weeping with my mentors a couple weeks ago, or even last week. I was having a day, like, and I was vulnerable, and I don't mind being vulnerable. I think that's the best thing about me, and becoming who I am, becoming Dr. Chappelle, because I really feel like me getting my doctorate degree has nothing to do with none of like the doctorate. Actually, I just really think it's about everything I've overcome, and because God gave me that degree, girl. I can tell you about that later. Woo, that's nothing but the good Lord. But He did that, and I really feel like it was just like a testament of me overcoming so much, but accepting accountability, but also forgiving me, forgiving other people they may have not known. So I'm going on the rant again. I'm like, dang, it's almost been 50 minutes. But yeah, onward, upward, you got this. Love yourself. This too shall pass. You're not going to be in this moment forever. And continue to love yourself and your child, but do stuff for you too, and just you, and don't feel bad about it. Your baby is resilient. Your kids are resilient, literally. Before I even had my oldest, I became a single parent, went back and still a single parent with 2 kids. I'm slowly starting to realize he's just not the one. I had to move on. Yeah, but, and you're going to go through like a little, you're going to go through like a time frame where you are going to still desire your family, but I said earlier, your family is who shows up for you unconditionally, who loves you and who's there. People, and then I also was listening to something earlier, and it was like, the way people love you is a reflection of how they truly love themselves. And if we really understood that all the way, you wouldn't keep like you wouldn't keep blaming yourself. I'm sorry, I gotta hear from God when I be talking to y'all, because I can't, I don't just be talking. You really have to you got to start loving you again, baby queen. Okay, mom of the kings, you got to start loving yourself again and getting to know what you like, because that's another thing we get wrapped up in, is attempting to, like, we're really like, we get in these relationships or whatever, like you in a relationship and you become a single dad or single mom, right? And now you're trying to win the parent back over instead of maintaining your kids. And it's like, wait a minute. And they're really not even, they're so wrapped up in themselves too. It's like, somebody got to be wrapped up in the kids. And it just begins unhealthy, and it's over consuming, and it's not worth it. And so you'll get to that point where you won't go back with him. You'll get to the point where it's your 2 kings, and you're going to focus, and you're going to be the best mom you can be to them. You're going to be who they need. And that's what I had to start praying for. God, I just want to be who my child needs. I don't want to be who I think I want to be. I don't want to be who I think, I want to be who she needs, period. What she needs, so I can fulfill any gaps, any deficits, right, that she may be missing. Allow me to, I said, heal me in areas that I don't recognize. And I pray for things. I'm very specific with my prayers now, because I wasn't always like that. I have really gotten to this place. I'm telling you, God has started doing miracles for me, which forced me to really believe, like, oh, he is real. And I'm glad. Don't make me cry, because you said I made you cry, girl. I'm super like authentic. I don't play that. I have to be real. And sometimes it pisses my family off and all of that. And I also want to get to that too. Like, people, when I first, like, I was devastated. I was single mom. I was like, oh my gosh. I was just devastated, right? And like, my family was just like, okay, like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Like, everybody a single mom, girl. And I was like, no, I was not with that. I'm like, no, not me. And so I also got let down by expecting others to really sympathize with me, like, at all levels, because the reality of it is people around me haven't even gotten to this level of thinking. And sometimes you just gotta pull the power up out of yourself, boo. Like, you gotta just say, we're gonna get this together in here and here for me and you. I'm talking about the kids, right? And yeah, and you can cry and you're gonna move on. You got this. So I just want to say that again. Like, you got this and you got you, because it can get draining trying to get people to understand your situation. Everybody is not going to understand how you feel about something that they feel like millions of people are single parents and stuff like that. And so, but this is a thing. This is a real pain, a real burden at times that you don't want to feel. It's a heaviness. So as long as you get to a point where, like, all right, you like, start believing in yourself, girl. Remember who you were before them kids, when you met him, and how you was treating him and stuff like that. Start treating yourself. Start catering to you. We go out our way to please these men and please these women that we know don't really want us. Like, we can do anything in the world and they still not gonna want us or be around. Some people just don't know how to love properly or just really aren't in it with us, and that's okay. but you have to, learn to be okay with that. And that comes from self-discovery, acknowledging certain pains and stuff that you may have had, from your childhood and from like past and previous situations that really like bothered you and scarred you that you've never addressed, because I realized that they came out in my relationship. And I'm like, whoa, this is not good. Like, I mean, in single parenthood, like when I became a single mom, I started digging deep, me and my mom, me and my dad, we all was like, hey, like, Chappelle, you making us go back into our childhood and explain to you why we are the way we are. We sorry. Like, I got deep, but I had to. If I didn't get that deep to really build me back up, I would not be able to have this conversation that I'm having to you right now. I love you too, Jelly. Like, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation. So it's like, you got to take the time to go through the process. And I was at this sermon, right? And they was using like a Christmas series. Y'all know I love Real Talk Kim, but she had a guest speaker at church and I was there. And they were using like movies and stuff. It was integrating movies, and they had the Grinch. And so he, like, his message was the plot, the process, and the promise, right? And I had the scriptures he used in my notebook, but basically some things are going to happen. And I'm not saying somebody plotted against you, right? But the plot is, we know what the plot is. Like, typically the plot is somebody's plot, it's like the highlight, right? The highlight, the storm. So we're going to call the plot the storm in this case. And the storm comes, right? But now it's the process, which is weathering the storm, right? I feel this is God talking to me because I don't know where this came from, y'all. And so, the plot, right, is the highlight, the big boom. You enter single motherhood and you by yourself, you raising these kids, or you forcing the single motherhood, right? And you like, or single parenthood in general. I don't want to discriminate against the men. And then now this process, you got to weather the storm. You don't know where this wind came from. You're underprepared. You don't have an umbrella. You don't have nothing, right? You just out in the rain. You trying to figure this out. What do I do? Who do I call? Tired. I'm trying. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm mad. You up, you down, and you'll go through those different phases, right? But that's a part of the process. But the promise is that it's going to get greater later. You know that. We always knew that. We know that it's going to get better. So when you're having your moment, you got to know, better days are coming. There's no way things are going to stay the same forever. And so like, we really got to rest on this. Somebody calling me, like, I'm busy. I don't know why she's calling me. But anyway, I'm sorry. Y'all. Don't think I'm rude. That person is a part of my boundaries. Like, anyway, because you're not that supportive. So, like, you just, I'm about to be like cracking up. Someone just started calling me. But yeah, so you just gotta weather it and know. So the plot is boom, the highlight of the issues. Then the process is figuring it out. You're going to have to go through some stages you don't like. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to try to figure out how to get through this, right? But that's when you start gathering all the stuff to protect you through the process, therapy, resources, people that might not be your family, okay? Self-care, all sorts of things. Thank you, Alina. And I love you too. And then the promise is coming, baby. There's no way you're going to go through all of those different things. And, you're in the process of trying to figure it out. And even though you have bad days, you're still pressing, right? It's going to, what the result is going to be in the end. It's not going to be where you're going to be sitting in this horrible place forever. So I just want y'all to hold on to that. I'm going to wrap it up with that because I'm going on and on and on. I wasn't even supposed to be talking about this stuff, but I don't care because it's God led. And we got to feel better during this time. Mama's is looking crazy right now. Right? But I'm here if any of you ever need someone to call or talk or Maybe I can send you like a smart goal sheet so you can like occupy your idle time with the vision of your future. And that's why I'm so big on goal setting. It allows you to, and I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again, it allows you to see past the moment. Boom. Even if it's something, I want to be a millionaire. Oh, how you think you're going to get there? Write 5 streams of income down. How do I do this? I started doing all sorts of stuff. I got an Amazon account, an Etsy account. Listen, I'm cleaning houses. I got book. I got another book coming. But I need money right now because I'm transitioning and I moved, and moving was a part of my freedom too. I've always wanted to be in Atlanta. I did it. What am I waiting for? I finished school and stuff like that. Like, don't hold back on what you want to do for you because you feel restricted because you are a single parent. You're not restricted. You're not restricted. You can do all things. You can do a whole bunch of stuff and still done. So I just want you to believe in you. If you don't have money these holidays, it's just your family. Enjoy your family. That is a gift right there. And reach out and look up some resources. Look up some free things to do, to participate in, and write some goals and journal. Those are all the things that I highly recommend. And I love you all. I'm about to hang up. I hope that this was good because I was like, I feel like I started ranting after a while. But let me know. Oh, I'm so glad on there. Isla is just all right. I'm gonna hang up. Now we gotta figure out how to hang up. Oh, thanks, sis. I'm so glad. Cause I was just trying to go in. I'm like, we gotta get this together, y'all. We can do this. We can get through this. Okay. Isla is just being see you too.